Now in this example we're going to take a look at a problem you'll see in your homework, and the description is that a ball is thrown vertically upward from the ground and its distance is represented by the equation below, and then it says after how many seconds will the ball be 224 feet from the ground. Well, the situation is you're throwing the ball up, and when you throw the ball up it usually goes at a parabolic arc. Well, a parabola is exactly what this equation represents. These equations, if we graph them, would make a upside down U. The negative actually makes it flipped over so that it is a negative U. And that being said, we're trying to figure out where 224 feet is. So we're not actually going to graph it here, we're just going to work on plugging it in. So what that means is we just need to set this equation equal to 224. Now the confusing thing is that S doesn't stand for seconds. I know that's what our mind says because we're thinking, oh, seconds. Well, seconds is actually time. S, strangely enough, is actually distance. Okay? So don't get confused by that when they give you S. What we need to do is realize that that's supposed to be our 224. So we need to rewrite this to be 224 is equal to negative 16 t squared plus 144 t. So the easiest way to solve this is to set this equation equal to 0. So I'm going to move the 16 over and then 144 over by adding those 16t. So I get 16 t squared, and then I get to subtract my 144, and then I bring my 224 down, and now it's equal to 0. Okay? Now from here, we want to solve by factoring a quadratic formula, but first I want to see if I can divide everything by 16. And that way my life will get a lot simpler. And the 16s cancel. I get t squared minus 9t plus 14 equals 0. Because 144 divided by 16 is 9, and 224 divided by 16 is 14. And that works out really nice because now I can see if it factors. So I go ahead and do my magic X, put my 14 on top, my negative 9 on bottom, and I look for factors of 14 that add to be 9. And if you do 7 and 2, and they're both negative, that multiplies to be 14 and adds to be negative 9. So we're good to go. It does factor. I don't have to do quadratic formula, thankfully. So I take my t, I cut it in half. Sorry, t squared, I cut it in half, and I get t. And when I say cut it in half, I'm cutting the exponent in half, not the number in front, by the way. So it's just t minus 7 times t minus 2 equals 0. Which means I get two answers. I get t equals 7 and t equals 2. Now, why are there two answers? The reason why there's two answers is because we're throwing the ball up. So we throw the ball up, and it actually touches at 224 after the first 2 seconds, and then it starts to go up, and then it comes back down, and it passes through 224 again after 7 seconds, and then it continues to travel down and touch the ground. So there are actually two places where the ball will be 224 feet from the ground after we throw it up. Because, of course, what goes up must come down.